My name is Sean Stewart.
Suki the Saint.
Johnny Allen.
And welcome to
Breaking the Ice.
Man, this was part of the bucket list that I had for me maybe 15, 20 years ago when I started thinking about running my own nonprofit. It was just a bucket list idea that I've always wanted to have a children's book in association with our organization, being that we're kid-related, youth-related, and I felt like a nice children's book will go along with our mission and vision of serving our youth.
The beginning stages started with a conversation with me and Johnny at a community event that my barber was holding.
The first time Sean talked to me about it, I think we were at a barbecue. And then we all met at the JK office.
We had a quick conversation about writing a children's book in alignment with his youth program, the JK movement. And at that point, I started working on the children's book.
But JK stands for Johnny Knuckles, which is our alter ego. I put in a little alter ego mindset because of how I grew up idolizing superheroes and characters. And one in particular was Mr. T at the time. Even though he was a real life person, he had a cartoon figure. And so I idolized Mr. T quite a bit. And I thought about how I could create something that kids can relate to, and as well as adults. And so JK came about, and Johnny Knuckles was that idea.
So it started off with me writing a poem along that theme of breaking the ice. And the theme breaking the ice kind of developed from a memory I had as a child walking to the bus stop each day. And the ice that gathered on the side of the sidewalk, I would break with my feet. And it was one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid.
Man, yeah. Yo, I was excited. We were able to sit down and brainstorm, pick each other's brain. Sean really listened to my vision on how I kind of wanted the character to be and the kind of journey that we wanted to do for the first book, and then some. So, man, when he came with the first drafts of him writing what we talked about, man, then I knew it was serious.
I had some ideas of kind of some of the illustrations, and honestly, it was more so the first page, because it was that whole visualization that I wanted to incorporate into the book and into the text.
I never illustrated anything before, so it was like exploring the opportunity more so, and then here we are.
And when Suki came with some samples, because, you know, she really didn't come with the full illustration yet. She just came with samples of her skill set. And I already knew from there at that point on, I was like, she might be the one.
So that was the only illustration that I even suggested in the book. I wanted Suki to have full creative control, and really wanted to give the story to her and let her bring the text to life as far as producing the images.
I think the first 4 pages, the main thing I was mostly nervous about is how Sean was gonna react to it, because, you know, when you're writing a book, you have a vision already of what it's gonna kind of be looking like.
Waking up to the scent of his mother cooking breakfast and floating downstairs was kind of the visual for the poem. So it was creating, trying to recreate the memories of smelling breakfast cooking in the morning, and how that kind of drew you downstairs.
They're singing in the kitchen. It's just super vibrant and homely, loving feeling.
Hearing his mom singing and hearing that good music and good food smell, it reminds me of myself, That part is very, very, I can relate to that part just like I can relate to all of the parts of the book, but that part is significant to me because my childhood was very, very, very fun. And being able to wake up to my mom's cooking is always top notch. You know, I'm a big boy, so my mom fed me right, but being able to wake up in the morning and her cooking while I'm asleep and my sister sleep for breakfast, that's daring to me.
All right, well, we definitely don't have that many Black authors doing children's books and stuff in the city, so this is a good look for everybody. This is beneficial for kids, adults, organizations, rec centers.
Jimmy Lee to me was and still is the mecca of rec centers. I grew up at Jimmy Lee. I played football. I tried to play a little bit of basketball, but that was because of my friends. All of my friends pretty much went to Jimmy Lee.
I think when we were growing up, everyone that we knew went to Jimmy Lee. After school, we have memories of going to Jimmy Lee several times after school, just to be around our peers and be in a safe environment.
I mean, I feel like my whole family participated in something at Jimmy Lee growing up, so Jimmy Lee's right in the hood. Like everybody has gone to Jimmy Lee at some point in their life. If you're from St. Paul, like you have for sure stepped foot in Jimmy Lee at some point.
But Jimmy Lee was the mecca. That's where I was at 80% of my youth in regards of recreation. You know, Jimmy Lee is a very iconic place for me and very dear to me because that's where I hung out outside of my house or on the block with my friends.
And Jimmy Lee allowed that or provided that for us. Without Jimmy Lee, I don't know where else we would have gone. And at times we were in those streets too, but Jimmy Lee was a place where we could go where we didn't have to be in harm's way. We felt safe and we felt taken care of. It felt like home.
I think it was really like a relatable story for kids in general, not just boys, but all kids.
I hope that Breaking the Ice will inspire young people to be writers, to be illustrators. Not only that, but to be advocates for their community.
Breaking the Ice is that book that talks about mentorship, that talks about love, that talks about challenges, that talks about how to resolve issues, conflicts, how to open up, how to talk about your issues, you know? I mean, that's what Breaking the Ice is all about.
Oftentimes our kids do not see images of themselves in literature, don't see images of themselves in positive light. And typically when they go to school, they're not going to be reading stories that tell their story or that are accurate depictions of their community. So I wanted to make sure that I wrote a story that was telling their story and not the same traditional stories that we typically hear.